Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome, guys. It has been quite a week, so we are not going to waste much time. We're going to get right into it. I just want to make sure you guys can hear me okay. What up, boss? What up, what up? Yes, it's definitely been a horrible week, so we will definitely try to start somewhere, right? It's not going to be too heavy on Hogan today, though. I think I'm going to do a show on my channel, just to get a little bit more in depth, because I don't want this show to take I don't want this just to be solely on Hulk Hogan, and we have about an hour here today. We're definitely going to touch on the tribute that they did last night on SmackDown, which I thought was very, very proper. Um, it's been a week, man. We lost Ozzy Osbourne as well. Audio's good. What's up, Zach? Good morning, boss. Thank you. Good morning, guys. I appreciate that. Good morning, good morning. As you guys know, I've been known to talk to myself for minutes on end. So I appreciate that. But yeah, man, yeah. What a week. That's why I'm still trying to collect my thoughts and figure out the best way to address the Hulk Hogan thing and say it proper. You know what I mean? Because it's a very delicate subject in my opinion, and I guess the overview of it though, I'm not one of those people that's celebrating his death or anything like that, because at the end of the day it's still a human being. And I think we still have to try to hold some type of morality or consciousness to ourselves, and try to, at least, you know what I mean. So that's why I didn't jump on and do an immediate live or anything like that on my channel or over here on Brass Ring Media or anything like that. Yeah, it's just a a cluster of emotions, right? And it's sad. I mean, it's one of those things where you separate the artist and the human being, and it's, or you try to, at least, you know what I mean. And there's definitely been worse people out there, and there's definitely been better people out there. So it doesn't even matter politics or anything. Just, my opinion, because we each have our own views on stuff. But just other things that came to light. So that's why I don't want to really talk about that too much in depth here. But we'll pay respects, like they did on SmackDown. And like I said, I'll probably dive into that maybe not today, but maybe sometime tomorrow or on Monday in regards to my full thoughts on Hogan and stuff like that. So, but definitely rest in peace. There's no doubt, regardless of how you feel about the human being, the impact that he had on wrestling, it's just, and that's why it's kind of hard to even talk about too, because it's where do you, I mean, you can start from the beginning, right? But it's how do you even compare the impact that he had on the wrestling industry and the wrestling business to anything else? It's he's truly one of a kind in that regard. And a lot of people have contemplated and kind of made arguments, and one of the debates is it if is if wrestling is where it is today, right? Is it because of Vince McMahon, or is it because of Hulk Hogan, who was the main figure in that? And if you remove one of those players, would it be where it's at, and who was most important and stuff like that? So I think that's very fascinating. So definitely want to maybe entertain that and get into that. But um yeah, some quick thoughts there. But good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning. I missed you guys. I wasn't able to do it last week. I will not be able to do a stream. I have to let the higher ups here at Pressing Media know. I won't be able to do a stream on that Saturday morning on Labor Day weekend, just because we will be moving into a bigger place, which is very exciting. So that's the only scheduling note on my side. But other than that, we should be good. And then we're moving forward into SummerSlam next week, which it's going to be a busy weekend, a very busy weekend, especially with SummerSlam being 2 nights. So we'll definitely be getting into that. Obviously, we have SmackDown here to take a look at and to discuss. Again, as I stated, they opened up with a 10-bell salute for Hogan. So we'll get into that. And what I thought really sold the main event for SummerSlam Night 2, they did last night. So we'll check that out. But good morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, K. Smith and Fernando. You said But then you said wrestling is what it is thanks to Hulk Hogan. Yeah, dude. You can't. That's what I'm saying. It's like you can't. If you remove Hulk Hogan, it's like where would we be? I still think we would have wrestling. Obviously, I still think it would be a pretty big deal. But it's just really fascinating to think how different it could be if he wasn't as big of a figure as he was and as influential as he was with the movement, right? So, and obviously Hulk Hogan wasn't, or not Hulk Hogan, but Hulkamania wasn't created in WWE. Vince just took it and amplified it, right? And just made it into what it is. But man, like because a lot of people say too, it's like, oh, well, Hulk Hogan just got lucky. He was just the right man in the right place. But maybe, yes, a little bit, but like you, and we've seen that, right? Like, yes, Vince has created other characters like The Undertaker, for instance, but even The Undertaker didn't transform the business like Hogan did. It still takes the right presentation, the right opportunity, and the right placement, of course, but it takes that talent too. It takes that individual performing it to really own it, to make it their own, and to just no pun intended, but to run wild with it, and it was just the perfect storm at the right time. Yeah, Fernando. He said it's been a tough week for the stars from the 80s. Yeah, like I said earlier, we lost Ozzy Osbourne as well this week. My dog's in the background, sorry. But yeah, and we all knew, really quick about Ozzy, we all knew he had been going through it, right? Parkinson's disease, I believe it was. But it was just crazy because he had just performed, what was it, like 2 weeks ago? I think. When was this? Let me see if I, because he was just on stage. And I remember because I saw this video of them wheeling him out and him sitting on that big chair, like almost like that big throne. And it was just like, yo, that's so dope. And then just the quick turnaround, and not for nothing. What kind of similar what happened with Hulk Hogan as well. Let's see. And I saw they're trying to, or not trying to, but they started a petition in Birmingham to rename the airport out there, the Ozzy Osbourne International or Ozzy Osbourne something, which I thought was pretty dope. I don't know if our American signatures would count, but that'd be fucking awesome if they would do that. What was it? What day was it? And it looked like such a dope concert too. Like it looked like they were having such like a good time. The setup was dope. Oh yeah, what a great shot. I'm gonna share it with you guys. July 5th. July 5th was the last concert that he had. I'm gonna share it with you guys because yes, this isn't wrestling. Technically, actually, it is wrestling really because Ozzy has been intertwined in the wrestling world over the years. So look at us tying pop culture into wrestling. But look at this shot, guys. If that doesn't warm your heart, I don't know what does. You know what I mean? And look at his chair, bro. Look how sick that is. Like, look at the top with the bat at the top. Like, that is sick. That is sick. And he looked great. That's why, again, we knew his health and the condition that he was in and stuff like that. But man, like that's why I was just surprised. And not for nothing, like he didn't sound that bad either. Like the audio to this didn't sound bad at all to his concert, to his performance. So that's why I was shocked just with the turnaround time, But here's another picture of them, of the three of them sharing all this stuff. All these ads, bro. It was at Aston Park Stadium. It was the first time the original Sabbath lineup had played together since 2005. And just a couple of miles from where the band formed in 1969. Isn't that? It's kind of poetic. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a dope full circle moment. And man, if he's we all have our time, right? And if this was truly going to be his time, I'm happy that he was able to perform, to be able to reunite and be in his home place and just be happy, dude. Like look at his face, man. Like if that doesn't like at least give you some type of peace and comfort, you know, if, at least in this situation, I don't know what will. But again, I'm not gonna. I could go on and on about Ozzy, but I won't because this is about wrestling. But what up, Byron? What up? What up? And the boss, she said, "Let me the God, welcome Ozzy, the Prince of Darkness." Yeah, dude. Yeah. Ugh, the Rock greats, man. The Rock greats. Byron Cutler, he said, SummerSlam 2025 has to be dedicated to him. Him being Hogan, or is that a reference into what we were talking about prior, or to Ozzy? Let me know. And Fernando, yeah, that was the other one. Malcolm Jamal Warner from the Cosby Show. That was sad too. He was out on vacation with his family. I think, what was it, Costa Rica, and got caught up in the currents or the riptide or whatever it was, and they found him later on. It's sad because it made me think of Shad Gaspard, tying it into wrestling. Sadly enough, God, it's been what, 5 years now or some shit like that. Some crazy, maybe a little, maybe give or take a year. But Shad Gaspard from Crime Time, if you guys remember, Shad Gaspard, JTG, remember? He was out at the beach with his family and his son. They were out in the ocean or whatever, and same thing, they both got caught up in the currents, but he saved his son. He told the rescue workers to, save his son. And unfortunately, he didn't make it. So it's scary, dude. It's scary. We can't mess with Mother Nature. You know what I mean? We can't take that shit lightly. Like, we be going out in the waters and just having no cares, and we gotta be careful. Gotta be careful. But Byron, you said Ozzy. Yeah, dude, I don't even know the official theme song for SummerSlam, but they should really switch that, or at least make it like add an official theme song. Because they had what, War Pigs? What year is that? I forget when they had War Pigs, but I wish they'd be able to like switch it out or do something, because that'd be dope. I mean, especially like with Triple H being the metal, rock and that type of genre fan that he is, and obviously an Ozzy Osbourne fan. If anyone could do it, it would be him. Hold on one second. All right, didn't want to be swishing that drink in y'all's ear. But yes, Fernando, you said maybe John Cena turns babyface again this weekend in honor of Hulk Hogan. Well, next weekend, you said. We'll get into that. That's actually a very good thought there. Byron, you said, I remember he had a song for WrestleMania, Unforgiven, Survivor Series, and Bad Blood. Wow, all those? Damn, I didn't realize it was all those. But yeah, so what a week, man. What a week, guys. But we're going to get into SmackDown here. And again, like we mentioned earlier, they started off the show with the tribute to Hulk Hogan, the 10-bell salute. Hulk Hogan. Triple H gave a speech on Hulk Hogan. And like I was saying just a few minutes ago in regards to the kind of abruptness for Ozzy, Hogan's was the same, in my opinion. Like, yes, we knew that he had been dealing with some stuff, but I think it was Jimmy Hart or someone recently had just, within the past couple days, I said, like, no, he's good, or a couple days prior, he's okay, because I think it was Bubba the Love Sponge had mentioned that he was, on the, I don't want to say death's door, but, like, on that side, creeping towards it, and Hogan's team released a statement. They're like, no, I don't know if it was an official statement, but we're like, no, yeah, he's fine. He's doing better. Like there's no real concern here. And then maybe a couple days later, a day or two later, we get the news, and that was shocking. That was shocking. Like, again, you can feel how you want, but it's still when it actually happens and it hits you, it's one of those things. And I saw someone on Twitter had referenced or mentioned, they're like, man, if we think we're conflicted now, just wait for. It's kind of shitty to say, but they're like, just wait for events to pass, and it's like, I mean, yeah, I get where they're coming from with it. You know what I mean? Like the confliction, but it's like, I don't know. I don't want to sit here and like count down anyone's days. It's kind of eerie, you know. But the segment that really stood out to me last night on SmackDown was Cody. Was Cody Rhodes, man. I thought, and I really want to know what you guys feel going into SummerSlam, the hype for it, the main event match, right? The match that should be selling the whole pay-per-view as a whole. You know, it's a little bit different now, obviously, with SummerSlam being 2 days, but the main event of the weekend is still John Cena and Cody Rhodes. Yes, we'll have a main event for night one, and we have a card lineup for both shows, so I'll be able to share that with you guys and check that out as well. But I'm gonna hold on to my prediction, but I really enjoyed Cody's segment, bro. I really thought it was so simple but so effective. And now it is official. It's been made a street fight. I'm pulling up my notes here really. But I dig it. I think that it was the right move to make it a street fight. It's kind of like some if you want to not directly compare, but if you want to, I guess, compare the mindset that I think that they're going with behind it is, and to be fair, like they've done this multiple times, but it reminded me of when AEW made the main event for All In, Hangman and Moxley, a death match. Obviously, many more layers to that. Death match is completely different, right? But in my opinion, they added that stipulation as a crutch and as a escape route to be able to explain and not have to explain having so much interference. And I think that's perfect. And I think if it makes sense, do it. And it eliminates the issue of having your referees look stupid, having them get knocked out and be down for 15 minutes. You know what I mean? Maybe 10. But from like a simple like bumping into type thing. It's just ridiculous. But it just completely eliminates that, and it allows it, and it creates that avenue where you don't need to make excuses, like I said, or try to figure out a way out. You just go into it, be like, look, this is what it's gonna be. Have fun. And I think the history building into this match, how Cena won the match at WrestleMania, right? Won the title at WrestleMania against Cody. It makes sense. There's no disqualifications, obviously, in a street fight. So even if Cena were to hit him with a low blow, do anything shicey like that, try to leave, it's not going to matter because you have to. It's a 3 count, right? So you have to pretty much all avenues for Cena to, either wiggle his way out or for any disqualification, anything like that is nipped. So I dig that. I some people, I was actually kind of surprised that some people were kind of down on it from a couple of comments that I saw on Twitter, just like saying that, oh, like they should have a straight up one-on-one match to really have John Cena put over Cody in the right way, kind of takes away from that. And I don't know, like if this was their first match, maybe, but with, like I said, the story and the way that they've kind of gone into it, I don't know. I don't think that, I think this is very fitting. What up, Maria? What up? What up? Maria, you said, I don't understand the people who think Cody is turning heel. He's still very popular. Yeah, man. I mean, to be fair, Cody has dropped a few little seeds and mentioned it a couple times in various like promotion interviews and stuff like that. So he has toyed around and kind of added fuel to that fire, but I don't think it's happening yet. I think it'd be a big moment at SummerSlam, but I don't think the roster's in the place that it needs to be for Cody to turn heel. I think, yeah, I mean, it's cool you have John Cena for now, but what is it, 6? You have him for less than 6 months, 5 months at this point. So I don't. Once you go into January of next year, you're not gonna have John Cena as your number one baby face. You would have Cody as your number one heel at that point, but who does he go up against? I mean, you have Roman, but Roman's not going to be there that long, and that would be fun to see a rematch between the two of them with the roles reversed. But I think it's still very soon for that. I think we're still like a year or two off from that match and that dynamic. But yeah, I don't think we're getting that next week. I don't. I think we would have seen more signs on screen from Cody. Yes, he has mentioned too. I think somewhere where he mentioned like the Rock's offer is still on the table for him to sell his soul type shit. But I just think that we're gonna have a little bit more time with good guy Cody, and I think we should. I don't think that we should play that card yet because he's such a good guy, and especially the character and the type of babyface that he is. It's very hard to get someone like that over in today's world. The clean cut guy, the corporate suit wearing guy, just out there kissing babies. And every time I go to say that now, I think of Batista. I don't know if you guys, if you know, right? He was like kissing babies and hugging fat girls. Oh my god, I forget what I think that was to John Cena or some shit, but man, Heel Batista was fantastic. But that's Cody, dude. He's out there just living the good, literally the good life. Um, but yeah, I think they'd be kind of foolish if they were to pull the trigger right now. You have that card, so why play it right now? So I don't think we're getting that anytime soon. At least I hope not. I'm trying to. God, there's just so many ads. Hold on. But yeah, finishing up with Cody's segment, I liked that he was out there in street clothes too, and like, well, his little tracksuit. But I think I dug it because, as I was just saying, he's always out there in the suit and tie, which is fine. He's owned it. He's made it he's made it his calling card almost. So it makes total sense. But I liked that it fit his mood. He's out there looking for a fight. He's ready for a fight. He said that himself. The fire was there. He said that he doesn't want to fight this version of John Cena. He wants to fight the real John Cena, the hustle, loyalty, respect, the John Cena who talks to Stu and runs down the ring, wears the championship the right way, stuff like that. And I dug that. It's that situation where I forget where I heard it from, but some interview years ago at this point, they were like, if you talk shit about your opponent and you're like, oh, they're a nobody, they're not even worthy of being here, X, Y, and Z, and you just like really degrade them and you beat them, then like who did you beat? If you're going out there and facing off against someone who is just this just like almost like a joke, then you beat a joke. Like who did you really beat? So that's I just ever since I heard that, I was like, yeah, that makes total sense. So I liked how Cody set it up, and that and to Maria's point, that does add fuel to the speculation of, oh, we're gonna get a double turn because he's saying all this stuff and he's going to pretty much like tease Cena up, and then Cody's going to just turn on Cena and really almost like a slap in the face type thing. You know what I mean? It would be, and Maria, it would be fun to see, but I still don't think we're gonna get it. It would just be that it would be a good moment and a fun moment to see, but it would be very premature. So I'm excited for the moment to happen. I just don't want it to be this weekend. But as I was saying, we do have the updated card for night 1 and night 2. So I'm gonna pull that up and share my screen here with you guys. This actually was as of 18 hours ago, and I know we have. Is this graphic with the updated? All right, cool. All right, so here is the lineup for night 1 and night 2. Saturday we have the women's champion, or the women's tag team champions rather, Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez, of course, Judgment Day, facing off against Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. I really love what they're doing with Charlotte Flair. Really quick, I love the presentation of her lately. I love how she is still herself, but she's showing a different side, like character wise. She's showing a different side of Charlotte, and one that's not gold obsessed and spotlight obsessed, and actually wanting to begrudgingly wanting to be there for a friend, not a friend, in Alexa Bliss. So I really dig this storyline. It's people may think this is crazy, but it's one of the things that I look forward to now, to see the development weekly. If you follow either of them on social media, especially Charlotte, I actually don't think I follow Alexa Bliss, but I follow Charlotte on Twitter. She they've been like out like doing shit together, so it's actually pretty cool. So shout out to them and shout out to Charlotte. We have Gunther, our World Heavyweight Champion, on Raw, defending against CM Punk. That obviously, in my opinion, is going to be the main event for night 1 on SummerSlam. Man, that Punk, the promo from Punk, what was it, last Monday? It wasn't terrible, and it did its job, right? But man, that just did not feel like my guy. I don't know. Maybe it was just, maybe he had a lot on his mind, but it didn't feel like the Punk that we all know. We have Randy Orton and Jelly Roll facing off against Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. We got some developments from it last night on SmackDown, right? Jelly Roll and Logan Paul going at it. I think we're going to be surprised by Jelly Roll. Again, I don't see him going out there and being like a Bad Bunny style, right? Like flying all over the ring. But I think we're going to be surprised. I think he's going to hit probably like a good handful of impressive power style moves. And maybe one that surprises us. People keep saying like the Canadian Destroyer. Who knows? That'd be a sight to see. But I'm actually not as down on this as I thought I was going to be, or as some other people are. It is what it is, man. And to me, it gets Orton and McIntyre on the card as well, without it having to be a singles match and really chewing that little like punch on the card, right? It allows the program between Orton and McIntyre to be extended without continuously doing a one-on-one singles match, and it allows for that exposure. It allows Jelly Roll and Logan Paul's platforms respectfully to broadcast and to really promote and hype up the match. So look, I get why some people are cringe about it. I'm not as offended by it. I was wondering because, like, for instance, in AEW, I can't stand the Costco guys, like Costco brothers, or not brothers, Costco, whatever they are. And I was wondering, like, I was sitting here thinking, am I a hypocrite? Maybe a little bit. But it is what it is. It's whatever. Next up, we have Roman Reigns and Jey Uso teaming up against Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, the Bronze. That should be their tag team name, the Bronze. I dig this match, and I love, kind of like with Charlotte Flair, I love that Reigns is involved in something that's not related to the heavyweight championship, the undisputed championship directly. I don't want to say giving the rub, because he's not. Like, Jay is almost kind of like giving him the rub at this point. Which is crazy to say. But he's like extending his shine, right? And his star power, his outreach, and really just amplifying this type of segment and this type of program. And it makes me wonder too, if Seth did not get hurt, was this going to be the route that we were going in originally anyway for SummerSlam, or if Seth would have been involved in the tag match, or if it would have been a 6-man tag or whatever. But I'm looking forward to this match. I'm kind of like, it's cool to see Roman Reigns back, and I'm digging this version of him. He seemed way more comfortable on the mic on Monday. Uh, Maybe the most comfortable ever, and I'm really excited to see him. That's what I'm looking forward to the most with him going forward, is just hearing from him and hearing and seeing this version of him that's super comfortable, super chill with himself, knows his character, knows what to say and like what he would say, like what his character would say. So I'm just really excited to see what he does and what he says going forward. And I like that he's by himself. I like that he doesn't have a mouthpiece or anything like that. Like, yeah, he still has his family, right? Like obviously teaming with Jay, he still has Jimmy, but it's they're not the crutch, right? Like, or it's not like, oh yes, it's about Roman, but these other like parties that's like built in. Like yes, it's still built in, but it's not the main focus. So I dig it. Next, we have Tiffany Stratton, the SmackDown Women's Champion, defending against Jade Cargill. We saw Jade last night. Chelsea Green, man, shout out to Chelsea Green. She's just fantastic. She's the MVP of that division on SmackDown. But you want to talk about intrigued by a match? I cannot wait to see what this match ends up looking like. I can't wait to see how they perform. And this is going to be a really big test for both sides, really. I mean, Tiffany has obviously a little bit more experience under her belt, especially in the singles realm. But it's going to be a really big test for Jade. I feel like they're just like, fuck it, like we're gonna rip the band-aid off, just like remove those training wheels. This is it. Like you're going. It's a big time match on SmackDown on SummerSlam. It's a singles match, sink or swim, and that's. I feel like that's what everyone needs, right? Like that's, for instance, with me, with my full time. When I first started, I was going in brand new. I was going in learning a ton of new information, like just the foundation and just, like kind of learning my way up in that role. And I got to a point where it was like my soup was like, all right, the basics, you may not know 100%, but what's right and what's wrong, right? And what's like bullshit and what's, what could be accurate. So go, here you are, and I'm here if you need me. And that's kind of how I feel like they are with Jade right now. They're like, all right, we set you up, we teed you up, we gave you the foundation, we gave you the tools, you have your knowledge, you know what to do. Now here you go out there and do it. So I'm really looking forward to it. And I think the fan reaction is going to be really interesting too. I feel like Jade is going to get the upper hand on that, but I don't know. Especially with it being in New Jersey, it's such like an interesting area, and like it'll be an interesting dynamic and reaction. So we'll see, man. We'll see. Hold on 1 second. All right, and then rounding out night one, we have Sami Zayn. So far, we have Sami Zayn facing off against Karrion Kross. Y'all, I can't. I feel like I keep repeating myself, but I can't wait for this match either. I'm super happy with what they've been doing with Karrion Kross. Yes, they could have jumped on the hype that he had been getting and the reactions that he had been getting maybe a little bit quicker, but I dig it. I think that they obviously heard the response, right, and knew they needed to do something with it soon. Now it's not some big like groundswell, right, but it's a good reaction. It's consistently built regardless of where they've gone in the world. So I think they're reacting well with Cross. And look, this is the second big one-on-one match that he's had, so I'm super stoked for him. I've been a fan of his for a while, even for years actually, when a lot of people wrote him off and said he's just a cool entrance and all that shit. I really dig his character. I dig what he's been doing. He's one of those examples where if you believe in yourself and you stick with the grind and you just don't give up, you get results. And look at him, bro. Like he has a singles match on SummerSlam. So I dig it. And It's not for a title. And I think that's a big deal. Like, obviously, like, you want to be champion, but I almost, not even almost, I feel like it's harder to get a singles one-on-one grudge match than it is to get a singles one-on-one championship match or a tag team championship match or any championship match for that matter. Because that's the easy storyline, right? Like, oh, it'd be very easy, or it would have been very easy for them to have been like, oh, Cross, like the fans are behind him. He's gaining momentum, blah, blah, blah. We have to have him face off against Dom for a championship match, right? Like, and it has to be for a title. No, it doesn't. Like, take advantage of that and build a good personal grudge feud. So I really dig that, and it makes it harder. So to get that spot in a match like that. So props to them. And I think I'm just gonna give my prediction and my thoughts for this one. I think that they need to pull the trigger on Cross and have him beat Sammy here. Just full stop. All right. Night 2 though, and this graphic does not have the additions from last night, so we'll just kind of read this graphic really quick, and then we'll talk about the TLC match that I was at, which is gonna be very exciting. We have talk about exciting, bro, and my thoughts for SummerSlam was like, all right, yeah, it's SummerSlam, so it's gonna be a good show, but once the graphic came out and then the TLC match was added last night, I was like, yo, this is actually going to be a really solid show, dude. Like, when you look at the matches on the card, not bad. Not bad. This match, though, I love it. Dominic Mysterio, our Intercontinental Champion, the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time, defending against AJ Styles. If you're AJ Styles, you go from having a company to celebrate you and pretty much, I don't want to say dedicate, but hype you up, and I mean, they could have done the hype a little bit different too, but just really make it seem like this company is here because of you and AJ Styles and TNA. And then was the next night on Raw, he's dressed up as the valet guy, and as, I don't know if he was a janitor on Raw, but dressing up in all these different outfits, trying to like sneak up on Dom and shit. And I dug it. I thought it was pretty entertaining. But some people were just like, oh, the disrespect. And I'm just like, nah, dude, that's the story. That's where we're at with them. And they're not doing it. They're not demeaning AJ or like mocking him. He's mocking Dominic, I don't know. To me, it's just fun. Like, sometimes people take shit way too seriously and try to make something out of nothing. But this match is going to be fun. And this is going to be a good match for Dominic. This is going to be, I feel like, maybe a coming out moment for Dom. I hope that they don't just treat this match as just like a joke and a quick throwaway. I hope that they really allow Dominic to showcase his moveset and to really go out there and have a good match with AJ and show what type of worker he is in the ring. Because, bro, if you can't have a good match with AJ, or if you slip up, or not slip up, because mistakes happen, but if you can't go out there and hold your own against AJ Styles, then maybe this just ain't for you. But I feel like it's 100% the opposite, and that's why I'm looking forward to it, because I think it's gonna be one of those matches where we go in and expecting it to be like a joke and like a little type shit, but I think Dom is really gonna show us something here. And I hope so, at least. Maybe I'm just more hopeful, but I feel like that's what's going to happen. And then we have, and this is a very odd order, so whoever made this graphic, or both for that matter. We have John Cena, of course, our undisputed champion, facing and defending against Cody Rhodes, which we just spoke about. Again, I'm going to hold my predictions. This isn't a prediction show, just going over the card itself, but that match, I feel like a lot is going to happen in that match. Or yeah, I'll keep it at that. Next up, we have Solo Sikoa, our United States champion, defending against Jacob Fatu. Again, I can't stand the MFTs thing. Just makes me, it grinds my gears, bro. Just really like almost like nails on a chalkboard type shit. Like makes me want to twitch. I don't know why, but and you want to talk about like, I don't know what it would be, like copyright or trademark or whatever, one of those licensing agreements, but the lettering and the presentation. When I first saw that picture, that graphic on Twitter floating around of their new shirts, I was like, MJF. But he even responded, and addressed it. He was like, "You're lucky I'm family, or I'm blood, or some shit like that. So I'm not gonna go after you or something." So he was cool about it. But next we have Becky Lynch facing off against Lyra Valkyria for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. This is gonna be a fantastic match, of course, but I'm kind of done with this combination. And if you guys have listened to me before, nothing against Lyra, and I think she's made so much progress in such a short time. And if you really think about it, from March to now, what is that, 4 months? I think she has really grown and stepped up into that role and really become more comfortable. And that's big credit and big shout out to Becky Lynch and to Bayley for that matter. But I'm just really tired, like at this point, of seeing, well, I'm not really tired, that's a bit dramatic. I'm at the point where I'm good with seeing this comment and I'm ready to move on. So again, I'm not gonna get my prediction, but yet. But I'm just hoping this is the end for the two of them, and they've referenced that, and hopefully they're gonna stick with it, and this will be the end. But part of me wonders if we're gonna get like a Bayley interference, and then they run the rematch, that triple threat rematch back. So we'll see. We'll see. But talk about triple threat matches. We have our Raw Women's Champion Naomi defending against Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. Obviously, fucking fantastic match. Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley on Evolution. Incredible. Incredible. So this match, I feel like it's gonna be maybe not to that level, but I feel like it's gonna be up there. Like, people sometimes don't give Naomi her in-ring credit, and yes, she's not like an Io Sky out there, but she's solid, dude. Like, if you saw her in TNA when she took that time away from WWE, she really went out there and performed, and she was the leader in a lot of the matches. So props to her, dude, and that's what made me even more excited and a bigger fan of hers. I was always a fan, again, I'm gonna like front and be like, oh, it's the biggest fan ever. But I don't know, like I didn't get the shade and the, I don't know. Everyone has their own cup of tea, right? But Naomi was always cool for me, so I'm happy she's the champion. I'm happy she's going and defending the championship at SummerSlam on a big stage, and I'm happy she's just completely different, obviously, and she's doing it her own way. So props to her. I feel like this is gonna be. I don't know if this, and I doubt this is going to be the exact, or maybe this is match wise on each show. I would imagine, right, since this is the Saturday and Sunday. But it's just weird to me that they have both Intercontinental Championship matches on. I don't know, just little things like that on one show. But yeah, so that's the card that we have so far, at least that graphic. And then we do have the addition for the TLC match that they announced last night. Let me close out this really quick. Which if you saw the match, the TLC match that they had on that Smackdown going into WrestleMania, we're gonna get that times like on the next level. Let me see if I can. Yeah, no, they don't have an updated graphic. I don't think that I see yet. But that TLC match, bro, that is going to just be a train wreck. And I part of me like hopes that we get the Street Profits getting the W out of that and getting that big moment. But man, I just really want like that singles push for Montez, man. He's not being, I mean, maybe in a way he's being held back, but he's just he's a single star, like, and again, I will die on this hill. Him and Bianca Belair would be just main event power couple, bro. Main event level power couple. I see him out there winning the King in the Ring, wearing that crown, just looking like royalty to a T. And not like the gimmick King Booker or anything like that, but just stuff like that, just like owning it and just flashy, man. Because if you guys follow them, on Twitter or on Instagram or anything, they are fresh as fuck. Like they are such just like a really beautiful couple. Like I love them. I don't know why I love them so much as a couple, but they just look incredible together. And WWE is just leaving money on the table, not taking advantage of that. And I'm not even saying bring up the street profits. I'm saying Dawkins could be his heavy, be his muscle man, be his bodyguard type shit, and just really take advantage of it. And it'll never be a situation where Ford looks down on Angelo. They're equals, but Ford is still the star. And eventually, you know, if you want one to turn on the other, you can. But that's not the dynamic. It's not where one is really above the other. One just does more of the heavy lifting than the other. You know what I mean? Type shit. But man, I just feel like they're leaving money on the table, and I feel like well, if they never do it, it would just be ludicrous. But I feel like they know that, and they're gonna get to that maybe within the next year or so, soonish. But I just feel like, man, why not? And especially with Bianca out right now, if you want to have her come back and really just hit the ground running, she's still like kind of in that weird realm. Like she's not even teetering back and forth, but there's been a couple moments where she's just kind of giving looks at Jade and Naomi and kind of like, you know, I feel like if they were to pull the trigger, and maybe, you know, maybe at SummerSlam, maybe if they, in the Tiffany and Jade match, maybe if they had Bianca come out there and just like cheap shot Jade, have her lose the match and then go from there, that could be the trigger pulling for the Bianca heel turn. And then you can tee up the Street Profits and Montez and then go from there. It's just wishful and hopeful thinking. I'm not expecting it to happen anytime soon, but man, like it bothers me so much because I know I can feel it, man. I feel like these people are just waiting and just like, yeah, I can print money, but I'm just not going to. Like, what? What up, Azan? What up? What up? Yeah, I know her finger is injured pretty badly, but I was just saying if she's able to come back at SummerSlam, that'd be a great way just to like slide her in there. But if not, you know, obviously you don't need to rush anything, but man, it's just a matter of time, I know, but I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it. But yeah, so that's the SummerSlam card. I'm gonna go through your comments here. I appreciate you guys being with me here on a Sunday morning, a Saturday morning. I was going through to see, make sure there's no crazy updates here. God, we don't need anything else this week, right? But what up, guys? I see you all in the chat. I appreciate you guys being here. There's a lot of you guys watching over on Twitter, X, so I appreciate that very much. Again, like a lot of people watch on Twitter, a lot of people, which is very cool. Man, people are just so fucking crazy. Pardon my language. Chelsea Green had to, you know, put a couple tweets out because ugh, whatever. People are just ridiculous. Cool, cool. All right. Go through your comments here, like I said, but man, the week that we've had, I was reading some of the like Chelsea Green stuff, and people are just fucking crazy. Just like, why? What up, Sai? What up, friend? I just saw you in here. He said lots of Easter eggs for a possible Cody turn. Last week he was wearing the same glasses and watch as The Rock was wearing in the Netflix stock trailer. Ooh, interesting. Man, I just, like Maria said, I don't want it right now. I do not want it right now. And exactly like Maria mentioned, there's a lot of meat left on the babyface Cody bone. There is, dude. There is. I feel like, yeah, he's going to be fantastic in it. And me and a friend at work were actually just talking about this earlier this week. But yeah, why? Like, why play that card so soon? Shut up. Happy birthday, Sai. Aw. Thanks for popping in, my friend. Happy birthday. That's so dope. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate everything you do, and I hope you enjoy your day. Wish I could buy you a pint. Or, is that Irish? I wish I could buy you a beer. And I will one day. Yeah, dude, Maria, yeah, I don't feel like he was getting disrespected at all. But that was a lot of people's thoughts. AJ Styles, that is. And yeah, boss, you said 25 years ago was the first TLC fitting. It is very fitting. Oh, hold on 1 second. The cat wanted to get out of the room. Oh, Byron, you said you see thumbtacks in the street fight and the use of the ring bell and fighting in the stands. And I can see Cody target one of the limbs with a chair and stack tables and see them going backstage. Wow. All right. And yeah, it's on Cardi B, Candy B. Cardi B is going to be there. And she's been active on Twitter, bro. She's been interacting with a lot of the female wrestlers. Like she was talking shit with Naomi. I think Chelsea Green at 1.2. She was she's going at it. Maria, you said, okay, so I love Chelsea, but her tweets was trash. Very disappointed in her. Okay, yeah, so I'm obviously missing something. I don't know what she tweeted out. The only one that I saw was like people apparently were like giving her death threats and shit. So I don't know. I gotta look into that a little bit more. Let's see what was happening. What up, Natalia? What up? What up? I appreciate you popping in. Good morning. Good morning. But yeah, guys, so we'll be winding down here. I just wanted to go through your chats here. And like I said, I appreciate you guys watching over on Twitter as well. But yeah, and for SummerSlam, do y'all see any surprise returns? Do you think we're gonna see The Rock in the street fight? Speaking of The Rock, I don't know. I am happy to see though that there is a falling out between Travis Scott and WWE. Apparently they were like not happy with his progress and some shit. Let me see if I can find the exact. Oops, I cannot spell. Yeah, just that they had a falling out. Apparently, a full falling out. So from Wrestle Purist, the nature of which hasn't gotten out yet. And this was on July 20. Oh, so yesterday. Okay, July 25th. Scott was scheduled to be the celebrity surprise that was to be revealed this month in WWE 2K25. He was to be part of the DLC, the downloadable content. The decision was made for El Grande Americano to take his spot. Plus, Aleister Black has been the person to replace Scott as far as the WrestleMania pack. You get replaced by El Grande Americano. I love it. I was never a fan of of Travis Scott. Um, I don't get the hype, bro. I have a weird feeling about the dude. Ever since that shit happened at his concert. I don't know, man. Even before then, I wasn't really that big of a fan. I mean, I liked that Goosebumps song, very very catchy. And I'm sure maybe a couple other songs, but I was just like, whatever. But then that all that shit happened at the Astro World or whatever, and just like, yo, I don't know, man. Something feels off. Okay, and a little bit from the Wrestling Observer newsletter, apparently. The reaction backstage in WWE when asked about Travis Scott's involvement in WWE. Quote, he doesn't like to commit to anything. He goes half in and tries other projects at the same time. And since he's a personal client of Ari Emanuel, oh, I didn't know that. Everyone tried to accommodate until it just became too much to deal with. And again, like, why include him in your biggest moments? Why have him involved in the Cody heel turn, like visually there? Like, that's why it just bothered me so much. Another reason why. But yeah, that seems to be just a full falling out. It's crazy, dude. Like, they had like a whole line with him and everything. But it is what it is, like, I'm no loss. But Fernando said the whole Travis Scott stuff was a disaster. Facts. Facts. Okay. Fernando, you said rather you like a person or not, don't talk bad of someone right after they died. Come on, swallow your words for one day. Okay, so maybe that's what, in regards to like I mean, I'm assuming that was in regards to like the Chelsea Green tweet that you were maybe. And again, I'll have to go check it out and see what happened and what was said and shit like that. But yeah, that's kind of what I was. That was my thoughts when I started the show when we were talking about Hogan earlier. Just look, man, I don't. I just don't want to celebrate death. Like, shit happens, and I don't know. It's just one of those things. But I'm gonna have to look more into that to have a full thought and opinion on it. But if that's kind of the gist of it, then yeah, I'll have some thoughts. And Byron, you said you see them adding a step to Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross, an underground match. An underground match. What would that be? An underground match. But yeah, guys, so we will be wrapping it up there. Like I said, I appreciate everyone joining me here on YouTube, watching over on the Twitter page on Brass Ring Media, RVD. Appreciate all that. If you are not subscribed here on YouTube, please do that. Please like and subscribe, and definitely like. And if you're watching on replay, appreciate that. I don't blame you. It's Saturday morning. I'd probably want to sleep in myself. Or if you got shit to do, you know what I mean? Got shit to do. You're like, yo, I can't watch it now. I'll watch later. I love that. That's cool. I appreciate that. Do you, boo boo? If you don't mind just liking and commenting, the page here and the channel here appreciates that. It really builds Brass Ring Media up, and it allows us to get into that ever precious algorithm, right? Which is a real thing, which is scary. But oh, you meant like a ring with no robes. Got you. Oh yeah. Kind of like Raw Underground. Yeah, I get that. Um, I don't know, man. I don't see us getting that style of match for them, but you never know. Never know. But yeah, guys, like I said, I appreciate you all so much for popping in. I'm gonna definitely jump on my channel at some point within the next few days over at KickAsh Podcast. So feel free to subscribe and check me out over there. But until next time, guys, I appreciate you all so much. Stay safe out there and enjoy some wrestling. Take care.